knee-deep into summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, which means, well, it's no better time to really talk about Super Soakers now, is there? Well, except for when it's in, January when they normally release the summer line and it's snowing, and that's usually my favorite time and my go-to time to review Super Soakers, but I want to talk about one that I'm actually really excited to talk about, because I do collect a lot of Super Soakers, and I don't really show any of them off. So let's talk about one of my recent acquisitions that's also my favorite. So welcome to Tag Back, the show where every week we take a look at a blaster from the past to see what it can offer us today in the present. And this time, it's quite possibly one of the best sidearm pistol Super Soakers that you could get your hands on. And that is the 2005 Super Soaker Triple Shot. Yes, as you can see, I picked this up for the princely sum of $4, and I bought it just because I hadn't seen one before and it looked cool, and usually when I find a Super Soaker that I haven't seen before and looks cool, I pick it up and hope it works, because more often than not, these things don't actually work, and the Super Soaker Triple Shot is positively amazing. This is a Hasbro Super Soaker, but before they integrated the whole Super Soaker line into Nerf, so this is just the original one, and again from 2005, and well, let's just start with how this thing looks, because I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It is very compact, very squared off. The grip is seriously so comfortable. I can't, oh my gosh, especially how this rises up right there. It is fantastic. The pump is also incredibly comfortable with just enough gap right here so you don't have to worry about bashing your fingers or anything into the pump or anything like that. It is fantastic. And up at the front here, we've got selectable nozzles, so you can choose how much water or what angle you want the water to come out. You've got a big, massive shot right there, you've got a stream right there, and then you've got a fan right there. Everything you could possibly need in a Super Soaker battle. And you've got the reservoir back here, which you can either just press this up to the hose and fill it up quickly that way, or you can unscrew and you can put some water in this way. And that's kind of the first problem with this thing, and that's honestly the only problem with this thing. The reservoir for this is tiny. It's not a very Super Soaker by default, so yeah, it's gonna burn through your water supply really quickly, but I did say it's one of the best sidearm pistol Super Soakers you can get your hands on, and I mean it, because this thing is really freaking powerful, possibly too powerful for its own good, because it just doesn't have the water supply to keep up with it. You could basically only get about 3 shots out of this thing before it's completely spent. And if you're using the big old dumping nozzle on the front like that, it's even worse. This is a very smooth rotation mechanism, I might add. It clicks into place nice. Very cool. And it's completely symmetrical on both sides, which I can appreciate as someone who likes that kind of aesthetic. And honestly, it doesn't take that long to pump it up. It does take a bit of concerned effort, and you can pump it up even though you don't have any water in it, although it's the actual air output, if you just pump it up like this, it's not exactly great unless you literally shove like as many as you can in here. It's already hit the overpressure release valve by the sounds of it, and I spray it. It's not bad. It could be better for something that you may want to convert to darts, because something like this definitely could. I honestly don't know what the internals on this one are, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think this one uses a bladder, although it may. I think it just has like an air pressure tank up here that sucks the water through. And so this may be convertible into an absolutely beastie Nerf blaster, but to be perfectly honest, I can't see myself doing that because it's just such a good Super Soaker. It's extremely comfortable, it's nice and compact, and yeah, the distances you get with this are fairly freaking good, and the amount of water you can get with that single shot right there, and it is basically a single shot. It's like a charger from Splatoon. In fact, this entire thing really reminds me of the splatter shot from Splatoon 2. That's like a single, just heavy jet of water that comes out the front to soak your opponent, which is really nice. If you use the stream, you get a bit more and you get a bit longer firing time out of it, although, you know, way less water actually at one time. And with the fan nozzle, you get about half the range, maybe 1/3 the distance, but it lasts for a pretty decent amount of time and covers a pretty large, I would say like 45-degree cone in front of you, so it's honestly not that bad. It's really good for everything that's packed into it, But the problem is yeah, you can't really use this as a main super soaker if you wanted to. I mean, you totally could, but you better have something on your back to replenish this thing, because it is going to run out of water pretty much immediately. But it looks so cool and feels so good in the hands. If you ever see one of these, I highly recommend you pick one of these up. It is definitely comparable to a lot of other like higher end blasters. It's no Monster X or, you know, CPS 2500 or anything like that, but it's definitely more powerful than a vast majority of the Super Soakers I own, and it's flippin' tiny and cool looking and extremely comfortable. Mods you can do with it, well, honestly, I don't do any Super Soaker mods, so you're gonna have to let me know down in the comments section, but I definitely feel like if you wanted to, this could be a pretty gnarly, very, very good Nerf blaster, because obviously you could rebarrel it, you could have 3 shots with it. If it's an air tank, or you could put an air tank in it, well, that means you get a lot of air pressure and you get 3 quick shots. You just have to pump up a couple of times. There's a lot to go right there, and it's extremely comfortable, and for how big it is, about, you know, roughly the size of a Strife, that's really good. And this kind of brings me back to like why I don't normally, like when I take a look at some Super Soakers, most of them were kind of garbage, because back in the day, like even something like this, which is just a tiny, very sturdy, very cool water blaster, these things, like they don't really make them like they used to. You see some cool things come out every now and then, but triggers almost don't exist anymore because of patent reasons, and well, Buzzbee's really the last bastion of getting any kind of good Super Soaker kind of thing out of any of these with their Water Warriors line. Which is a shame, because a lot of the time I look at, like, if I walk by through Walmart or something, all I see is a bunch of cheap, stupid Super Soakers that, you know, are just no trigger, pump, they're not very comfortable, they don't look very good, or they look really, really over-designed. It's upsetting, because things like the triple shot are just so freaking good. If you have one of these, or if you've seen a mod for one, please let me know, because I'm really excited to see what other people can do with them. But that's all she wrote for the 2005 Super Soaker Triple Shot. Let me know what you think about this thing, and if you want one, down in the comment section below, because I absolutely love this, and it will stay in my collection, and if I ever get a second one, I'm going to mod the ever-loving crap out of it. But other than that, I'm Walcom S7, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta up,